Navy charged into the 1977 football season with its expectations high, following its late season turnaround in 1976. 16 starters returned for this, the 5th season for George Welch as the Navy coach. His tenure has found the midshipman again sporting a competitive role in collegiate football. Navy's first foe in 1977 was the pesky Citadel Bulldogs, who led 2-0 at halftime. In the third period, Navy's veteran quarterback Bob Leshinsky hit senior tight end Richard Seeland for a 28-yard touchdown. Navy added a second touchdown early in the fourth quarter, and then senior running back Joe Guso finalized the mid-scoring with this 11-yard pitch out. Navy had prevailed 21-2. Navy was after its 5th straight win when it met Connecticut the following week. This early touchdown pass to split end Phil McConkey was called back, but the midshipmen still raced to a 17-0 lead when halftime arrived. Part of that advantage came when Leshinsky teamed with speedy freshman tailback Steve Callahan, who dodged, twisted, and juked his way 48 yards for a touchdown. Early in the fourth quarter, Callahan was to again electrify the crowd at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium with his 77-yard dash for the midshipmen's 5th touchdown of the afternoon in a 38-7 triumph. Now, Navy was to test #1 ranked Michigan and its renowned coach Bo Schembechler. The Wolverines were to post a 14-0 halftime lead by virtue of a pair of touchdown runs by Harlan Huckleby. But the second half belonged to the feisty midshipmen from Annapolis, who came into this game 20-point underdogs. The Navy defense, Galpin, Stevens, Myers, Redvick, combined to hold Michigan to a minus 11 yards in the third quarter. And the Navy offense began to assert itself, too. Spurred on by fullback Larry Klowinski and quarterback Leshinsky, the Mids drove to the Michigan 9, where a 4th down pass to John Kurowski found the Navy wingback stopped just short of the end zone. Navy charged again on its next possession, and Leshinsky lofted this 34-yard scoring pass to split end Sandy Jones wide open in the end zone. The Wolverines eventually held on for a 14-7 victory, but they could not hold on to their #1 ranking. The midshipmen carried a 2-2 record into the season's 5th game against the Falcons of Air Force. This was the 10th meeting between the two in this burgeoning Service Academy rivalry. The Falcons broke in front early in the second quarter when Dave Zebar tossed a 6-yard touchdown pass to end Paul Williams. Navy struck back immediately, marching 88 yards with a powerful Klowinski bursting 5 yards up the middle to tie the score at 7-7. It was to remain that way as each team parried the other throughout the second half until 3:24 left in the game. Taking over on its own 43, the Mids darted upfield on the legs of the sturdy Guso, including this dash for 29 yards. Finally, it was 4th and 4 from the Falcon 8. The anxiety was mounting as Welch called on his place kicker, Bob Tata. The diminutive junior responded with a 25-yard kick that split the uprights. Tata was the lead Navy in scoring in 1977 and already has scored more points than any kicker in Academy football history. Navy had eked out a 10-7 victory. The Mids then were stopped 34-17 by Gator Bowl champ Pittsburgh. But a quiet determination descended on the Navy team when William and Mary arrived for the homecoming game at Annapolis. The Mids were ready to play that afternoon. The game also spawned one of the greatest individual performances ever by a Navy player. Joe Guso, a team co-captain and son of another former Navy playing great, Joe Guso Sr., rushed for 250 yards on 29 carries, threw a pass for a touchdown, and had a total output for the day of 329 yards. That showing earned him honors as Sports Illustrated's Offensive Player of the Week. Altogether, the midshipman offense spewed out 546 yards that afternoon. The joy of winning is exemplified by offensive tackle Kevin Ryan's bear hug on Lashinsky following one of Navy's 6 touchdowns in a 42-17 victory. For its final home game of 1977 against Georgia Tech, the midshipmen were to have Naval Academy alumnus President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind as their guests. The Commander-in-Chief, who followed the presidential tradition of absolving all members of the Brigade of Midshipmen from extra duty assignments, was escorted to the Navy side at halftime by the Academy Superintendent, Rear Admiral Kennard McKee. President Carter was to view a stirring game that afternoon between the Mids and Tech, the school he attended before coming to the Naval Academy as a student. With runs like these by the ever-dependable Guso, Navy was to parlay a 22-yard field goal and 2 short touchdown jaunts, one here by John Kurowski, into a 17-13 halftime advantage. With Navy still barely ahead 20-16 and 2:43 remaining, Tech raced from its own 20 to the Navy 10 in 6 plays. The Navy defense met the challenge, and Charlie Thornton sacked Gary Hardy for a 6-yard loss. On the next play, the last of the game, defensive back Glenn Flanagan snared an interception on the 1-yard line, the biggest play of his Navy career. The Mids had notched a hard-earned win that found Guso breaking 5 school records. Even the president left satisfied. When it comes to perseverance, no one surpasses the quiet-mannered Guso. He picked, fought, and scrapped his way to a school record 1,292 yards in 1977, and altogether set 4 Navy season and 2 single-game records along the way. Another catalyst of the Navy offense in '77 was Lashinsky, a junior whose passing arm provided the Mids with a constant threat. He was to throw for 1,509 yards during the year, the second greatest single-season total ever by a Navy quarterback. This clutch performer already ranks 5th in career passing at the Academy. When it came to making exciting plays, Navy fans in 1977 looked no further than spunky Phil McConkey, the junior wide receiver who also handled punt and kickoff returns. Plays like this dazzling 67-yarder against Syracuse enabled the 5'10 speedster to finish 3rd in the country in punt returns. He already owns 3 Navy career marks on kick returns. McConkey also led Navy in pass receptions with catches like these that gained 596 yards and scored 4 touchdowns. He'll be one of Navy's co-captains in 1978. Navy also had a national statistical leader on its defense, number 28, John Sturgis, who earned 3rd team All-America recognition. A walk-on, Sturgis has been a regular for 4 seasons and set Navy records for the most interceptions in a career, 13, and most interceptions in a season, 8. He also was ranked third in the nation in interceptions for 1977. Football seasons at the Naval Academy are divided into two distinct portions. The first 10 games, and then the big one at the end. This was the 78th meeting between Army and Navy in college football's most heralded rivalry. Cold and wind swirled through Philadelphia's John F. Kennedy Stadium as Navy coach George Welch sought his 5th straight victory over the cadets.
Going into the Army game, we thought that we had made excellent preparations, as good as we had had in previous years. We tried to convince our football team that this was the best Army team that we had seen.
Guso, with his 38-yard run early in the first period, was to provide Navy with the first threat. But it was the cadets behind quarterback Lehman Hall and running back Jim American who were to turn 2 pass interceptions into a 10-0 Army lead. Navy fought back.
We had a tough time getting on track offensively. Kurowski had to make a great catch in the end zone to get us on the board.
An 80-yard drive enabled Army to hold a 17-7 halftime lead. But Navy's intensity swelled in the second half. Safety Mike Galpin returned a punt 26 yards to the cadet 29. Now it was up to the offense. It too showed character. John Kurowski on a wingback pitch streaked around right end for 18 yards to the 4. 3 plays later, Guso shot into the end zone, and Navy trailed 17-14. The score stood that way in favor of the cadets until the Mids took over on their own 36 with just 4:04 remaining. Their last chance.
And we finally got the ball with a few minutes to go at the end of the game, while we decided we had to do everything we possibly could do at that stage. So we went for made a couple of key 4th down plays, which kept our drives going. I felt pretty good at that stage. We were playing with some emotion at that point, and we had momentum. When we got that first down on their 17, why it looked to me like we had enough going for us that we could put it in the end zone and win the game at the end. It came down to the one play, and they were able to make it, and we weren't. On 4th down and 2 on their 9, where we decided to go with a running pass option, which put a lot of burden on Joe Guso, but we felt like he was certainly one of our best football players, and we wanted to go with him at the end. As everybody knows, pass was thrown over McConkey's head, and it was incomplete, and that was enough to give Army the win.
Army had held its first win over Navy in 5 years. There was disappointment in the Navy camp, not only over the 5-6 record of 1977, but also over the loss to the cadets. At the same time, a renewed determination was aroused, new expectations fostered. George Welch will welcome back in 1978 many of the key performers in an ever-threatening Navy offense, including quarterback Bob Leshinsky and split-end Phil McConkey. The rich heritage of winning football at the Naval Academy is within reach once again. But for now, it's hats off to Navy football for 1977.